Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast, where I clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, so welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Colin Smith Brooks, and this episode is a nice reminiscing episode, where I talk about my high school days again and how taking exam, we usually have this national exam that that place us into that is used. So it's a national exam. But every what usually happen was every time when those exams come around, I usually get really sick. I really sick. Yeah, man. So to get it started, you have to go back to around grade 10. So around grade 10 now is where, if you have one of those earlier podcast listeners that listened to how I eventually got my degree, which is biochemistry, you would have known about the the chemistry teacher name, Miss Brown. And it's around then where the real science journey kind of started, because she broke through all the facade, usually before I was just, going through doing what is the most needed to just pass through. But when I reached grade 10 now, she broke through all that facade. When when I did poorly, she got make me know I got just feel away. So every chemistry class was a big thing. It's like going to hell every day. I feel with so much anxiety, because when I'm in the class, you're wondering if she's going to call you and ask you to answer a question. And the thing about it that majority of the time the question them I couldn't answer it. That was because in grade 10 I was just, she broke the science bubble and then reshaped me to be more. So right now I'm more proficient in science, and it's true, and it's mainly due to her breaking my bubble in grade 10. So yeah, so back to the story. So we have two big exams which every high school do. So you have C-Sec, which is basically when you're in grade 10, from grade 10 to 11, you usually take those exams. So you'd have C-Sec chemistry, C-Sec biology, C-Sec. They have a CXC exam for basically every subject, So you then take that, and then by end of grade 11, based on how much subject you have done and pass, you can use that to maybe apply to go to a college, community college, sixth form, which I did use to go to sixth form, or you can use it to apply for work, for work and something like that. So every high school usually do it and stuff like that. So yeah, with the CSEC, if you would have listened to the story from way back when, you would have realized that I don't really remember if I said it, but I got some average grade, and I got twos throughout, and I got about 2-1, and the grading system is basically 1 to 5. So 1 is is the best, and then 5 is the lowest. So the CXC I got about 2 1s, and then a lot of 2s, and then 1 subject, the chemistry subject, I got a 3. And I got a 3 because it was just bad luck, bad luck. Yeah, but but because I got that 3, when I went back to sixth form at the same school, the same high school, and I got back the same chemistry teacher. She was more serious, and she was more in the first part. She was, the kind lady, and I said, oh, calling me after putting more effort and stuff like that, But after the first day, when you called me playing game, then she got serious and said, yo, if you if you don't come first in that class, you're banned for the class, and then we actually need and I like so we could just get banned and feel okay because I actually need the grade to actually pursue what I was going to do because biochemistry, chemistry, that was the thinking. So in grade 12 now, you have the exam where you do now is called CAPE. And every high school sixth form do the same CAPE and thing. And what you can do with those CAPE subject is that, so in grade 12, so we are grade 12 and grade 13. So the first CAPE results, with the CAPE subject you do in grade 12, is used to see if you're going to come back in grade 13. And then the grade 13 one is just used to see if you're going to get into the university, So going through grade 12 and stuff like that was, as I would have known, I buckled myself up and I started doing well in chemistry and all the other subjects, and doing pretty well. So when it came around now to the exam time, and conveniently, if you're a Jamaican listening to this, around June, July, yeah, you'd have known those are when the CAPE exam usually go on. So around those time now, I'll be studying and feeling prepared and stuff like that. But what happened was when the examination period came around now, every single time when I leave the house, like I would have feel perfectly okay in the house and nothing is wrong. But as soon as I leave the house and just go on the road, I have this urge to use the bathroom. And it's like, yo. And, and the thing about it, that from the house to the school, I have to like walk. So after I leave the house, walk, then go to the square and then take a bus or a taxi and then reach the school. And then, so like every single exam, and each subject would have like multiple parts of exam. So you'd have the multiple choice and the working out section. So it would in C-Sec I would do like 4 CAPE subjects, but it would like be 8 days of exam or something like that. So like every single day when I leave my yard to go to school for one of those exams, I feel sick to my stomach. Like, yo, this was some different kind of anxiety. Like, I don't feel nervous or anything. I just feel sick. Like, every exam, by the exam start, I have to use the bathroom and then so by the time I came back into the exam room now, boom, I've used up some of the time in the bathroom, but it was something, every single time. And then same thing again. But my first grade 12, I did pretty well. I got some 2s and then 3s. I think I got 2 and 1 3 in the maths subject. And then boom, in grade 13, the same thing happened, bro. Every time I left the house, I have this urge to just use the bathroom. I was like, yo, this was like the first time I felt the nerves, it was something, but I pushed through and I ended up got one of the highest grades in the school for chemistry, that was the big turnaround that, I get 3, one of the lowest passing grade in grade 11. And then I end up turning around and end it with a 1, one of the highest in the school, so. And it could almost be one of the highest in the Caribbean also if I was actually taking it serious and had the the teacher beside, because I was, doing well and stuff like that. The teacher was still marking me serious. She was one of those rare teachers that don't you have to actually put in the work yourself. You can't just come in and say, oh, and you get assistance and she'll tell you the tips and tricks. No, you have to learn it yourself. And that's kind of why I'm more proficient in science now, is because majority of I had to learn for myself. But that was a nice reminiscing episode, to say, yeah, if you're nervous doing an exam, you're not alone. You're not alone. It's just that it's just one of those things you have to go through. And then it's worse when you have, because each one of those exams that I've done, money is on the line. So if you fail, you have to pay to do those exams, And at the time, those were a lot of money I had to pay. I had to pay like 20,000 Jamaican dollars and stuff like that to actually pay to do those exams. So, and those times, now it's still a lot of money, but it's even more than. But back then it was even more than that, because if I failed, you not only lose that $20,000, you waste basically one whole year of going to school, to basically go fail that, So that was basically one of the many reasons why, the nerves, I think, kind of was on me as well, But it's just one of those episodes to say, it happens to the best of us, We all get nervous at times, Yeah, so that's it for this episode. All right, and look forward to the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
It was, I think, second year, and then with my major, I had to do. My major only had took 30 credits. It was a short amount of courses, but spread out. So it was 30 credits or something like that for my major. So to graduate, you need 60 plus credits or something like that. So I had to go out of my faculty and actually, or my department and stuff, to look for other courses to do to actually fill up those credits, so I meet the credit requirement to actually graduate from the university. So second year now, I was doing that, and then with more credit, with more classes you're doing, you're getting more exams. And what happened with those